Hey everybody, today we're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 22, Ultimatum. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent. Today we're getting to the end of Ultimate Spider-Man, its initial run. This is Volume 22, Ultimatum. Now, this contains issues 129 through 133 and Ultimate Spider-Man Annual number 3 in here. So Ultimate Spider-Man Annual is kind of a flashback and I would say a little bit of a flash forward for the series because it is drawn by David Levenstein, who is going to be the new ongoing artist when this series reboots post-Ultimatum, right? So the Ultimate Comics line starts up, and David Levenstein, who's drawing this annual here, is going to be our new artist. So that's kind of why I'm saying it's a flash forward. It's a flashback because it takes place in the time where the kids were still taking care of a baby, as I think Mary Jane is still seeing Kitty carrying one of those baby dolls that they were taking care of like 3 or 4 volumes back in the class, right? So then we have a little bit of a thing with Aunt May. She's getting hauled in front of the principal because Gwen Stacy is back alive, technically. Like they're saying basically that in the last, I mean, you can read all this on the last volume, but if you're watching this one, hopefully you've read the last volume. Basically, the Carnage symbiote took her DNA, made a clone of her, and then when the Venom symbiote took the Carnage symbiote away from Gwen Stacy, it left Gwen Stacy alive and intact in terms of being a 100% pure clone that has all the memories and all that stuff. So like it's kind of basically still Gwen Stacy, and so in the eyes of the universe, she's no longer dead. And she's got paperwork from S.H.I.E.L.D., Aunt May does, that says she's not dead, so she's trying to re-enroll her in school. So that comes about, and then you have the police hauling her off at the end of this issue to say, like, hey, what's going on? Nick, you have this person who's not dead. We know there's some involvement with Spider-Man. There's some cops on here that are like, hey, we think your son is Spider-Man, Peter Parker. And then, boom, you have the Ultimatum tidal wave come and basically kill half these cops. So kind of case closed, right? Bullet dodged, so to speak. And so Ultimatum is this event in the Ultimate Comics universe, or Ultimate Universe at this point, where Magneto had said, fuck humanity, I'm going to kill them all, and he shifts the Earth's magnetic poles or something like that in order to cause a massive tidal wave and takes out most of Manhattan. So that is what you have happening in this issue. And then kind of everything, it's kind of a post 9/11 story after that, in terms of a lot of destruction, a lot of rubble, saving people from things falling, that kind of stuff. But what's nice here is that you get a split between a bunch of characters we haven't really seen. You have Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew coming back from the Clone Saga. She's making an appearance again, saving Aunt May, and she calls her Aunt May, and Aunt May is like, who the heck are you? Like, apparently, Peter told her he was Spider-Man, but he didn't tell her everything about the Clone Saga. You have Ultimate Grey Hulk here showing up and taking on Spider-Man, and they have a little adventure when Spider-Man's trying to figure out if he's a good guy or bad guy, or if he can trust Hulk, how he can control his rage, all that kind of stuff. And then you go into the Ultimate Doctor Strange house, and demons coming out, and they're trying to deal with that. Meanwhile, Kitty Pryde and MJ are having their own thing, and then at the same time, it's set up basically for the last 2 issues that aren't included in this trade paperback, where Jonah Jameson, who we haven't really seen a whole lot of this series, is now feeling guilt about writing all these bad things about Spider-Man. So the Jonah Jameson character thing is kind of weird because he's not really a character in this story per se. Like, he's there, but Bendis is leaning on him as a crutch, basically. He's using all of our knowledge from the previous Spider-Man series and previous Spider-Man comics to use that knowledge to write this arc of Jonah Jameson finally coming to realize that Spider-Man's not a bad guy. Oh my gosh. And feeling guilty when it is presumed at the end of the last issue here that Spider-Man is dead. And that is where this volume ends. So you're saying, like, wait, so Peter's presumed dead and the next volume is the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man number 1? Like, so how does Peter not be presumed dead? Is that in that volume? No, it's not. That story is in Ultimate Spider-Man Requiem, number 1 and number 2, which is in this book here, Ultimatum Requiem, featuring Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spider-Man. I only read the Spider-Man issues, and those are pretty good. They're both written by Bendis, and then you have Mark Bagley and Stuart Immonen coming back to do the art. So Bagley comes back to do pieces here and there in the first one, and they're long issues too. They're like 40 pages or something. Like, they're supersized. And then you have Stuart Immonen kind of closing out that arc where they find out that Peter is alive when the Ultimates discover his body. So that closes that thing, right? But it's a nice little recap on this Requiem thing of like how far we've come from. They're basically recycling images here from Ultimate Team Up, which I didn't read, and Ultimate Spider-Man with Dr. Octopus. Here's Ultimate 6. Here's the Beetle, which we had last volume. Just kind of going through, and then a new image here with the Ultimates by Bagley, right? So it's kind of fun. But this is basically the main thrust of Jonah's eulogy. He's writing it here in this issue for Spider-Man, and then we find out that, oh no, Spidey's alive, like it's fine. So that's that. But yeah. What? Not right now. So yeah, this is kind of a weird way to end the run. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that there was an event going on. Like, this was the first real crossover of the Ultimate Universe at the time. 133 issues in. It's a pretty good deal. Like, literally all the books had Ultimatum tie-ins in. And the only thing we had before, I think, were miniseries. Like, Ultimate 6 was its own miniseries. Ultimate War in the Ultimate X-Men books was its own miniseries. So there wasn't really like a crossover, and this was the first time they had done one in many, 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 many years. So you got to hand it to them for that, for holding off that long. But it is weird that like these last 2 issues really should be in the Amazing Spider-Man book, and they should also be collected in the last volume. Like, why are they not in this last volume of Spider-Man? It's really, really weird. Why would you make people go buy these other 2 issues? So it's really kind of a, like, to review this one is just like, it's fine. It's not bad. It's certainly better than War of the Symbiotes, the last volume we read. There's a lot of closures, a lot of good character moments with side characters, and I think that is really strong. That's really fun. But to just leave out these Requiem issues out of this trade paperback makes this a worse read than by itself than if you actually go and find this or download the digital issues on the Marvel app or Comixology, whatever have you. So I think that's where this volume suffers, is that it really needs these last 2 issues because it closes everything up. All the drama, all the suspense of, is Spider-Man alive or dead? He looks drowned here with the mask thing. Like, all that is in this volume, and you close it out with a nice little, suspense here in the first Requiem missions where we think he's dead, and then, at the last page and the last panel, we find he's alive. Like, that's a cool moment, and that would have been a great thing to close the trade paperback on, except they didn't do it. So that's my review of Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 2 22 Ultimatum. It's good, but boy, is it missing the really good stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of Volume 22 down below in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.